So you two argue over and over again, and it never seems to solve anything. If anything, these we need to talk moments almost seem to drive you further apart. I want to help you reshape these moments into something productive. You see, our disagreements, they don't have to drive a wedge between us. They can actually draw us closer together if we proceed properly. So if you want to connect with your spouse, if you want to be heard and actually hear them, this video is for you. Now, what does being heard actually mean? I mean, for a lot of you, I can actually see the eye rolling. One of those things we talk about over chai tea after yoga class or something. Let me contextualize this for you a little bit. There's this great scene in an old movie, the old White Men Can't Jump movie with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. And there's this bit they do where Tupac, a Tupac song comes on the stereo, and Woody Harrelson goes, "Oh yeah, I listen to Tupac." And Wesley Snipes says, "Yeah, but you can't hear Tupac." I think there's something really instructive in this moment. Because what I think Wesley Snipes is really saying is you can't understand the experience that Tupac had in creating that music. You can't understand really what it feels like to be a part of that community. So you can hear the words, you can listen to the beat and the music, and maybe even have some surface level appreciation for it. But the experience that motivated that music is not a part of your experience. I think this is really important because this is the difference in how we shape our connections. This is how we hear people. You see, when we listen to respond, when we are hearing what our partner says, listening to what our partner says, already thinking about what we're going to say back to them, that's not hearing. That's debating. When we listen to learn instead of listen to respond, that's what empathy looks like. See, that's what Wesley Snipes is really talking about in this bit. He's talking about empathy. He's not saying you have to fully understand the experience, but what I think he is saying is that maybe you open yourself up to trying. Maybe you open yourself up to this idea that if what I'm hearing doesn't resonate with me, I don't agree with it, or I don't understand it, instead of rejecting that by firing off our response to that, maybe we sit with that. Maybe we listen to it and we try to internalize that. And maybe we respect the fact that our personal experience maybe can't ever fully comprehend that. I mean, heck, in my marriage, I can never fully understand what my wife's experience was like growing up, or even in being my partner, nor she mine. And that doesn't have to be divisive, because when we really embrace the curiosity of that, when we listen to hear, when we listen to learn, when we listen to try to understand what it's like to be you in a given moment, we ask, don't tell, then it changes the trajectory of that conversation, because all of a sudden we're not listening to their words trying to figure out what we're going to say back to them. We listen to their words wondering what we're going to ask next. How am I going to understand you on a deeper level? And when we do that, that's how you hear instead of just listening, in my opinion. So where things so often go off the rails isn't about the great big issues. This is about that little, tiny little thing that just seems to blow up on us. It's like we've all been at that point in our conversations with our partner where we know we are at a fork in the road. And we know that if we go this direction, this thing is going to go sideways, and we're in the middle of another blow up again, and we feel helpless to stop it. This is because we are focused on the data in that moment. And so often, the data is the least important thing in the room at that time. So let me give you an example. Let's say a couple is wanting to figure out where to go out to eat. And one person really wants to go out to this barbecue restaurant they love. And what they've forgotten is that the partner doesn't mind going to eat barbecue, but that particular restaurant, something in the food makes them feel bad, makes them sick. And so partner A really wants to go to this barbecue place. They're focused on the barbecue. Partner B is just uncomfortable, right? They know they don't want to go to this place, but the subconscious is a subconscious for a reason, right? So if we feel disrespected or uncared for or unsafe, we often don't necessarily have the words for that in the flow of our everyday life, right? That's why we call it the subconscious. And it's unfair to expect our partner to be fully aware of their subconscious in the flow of a regular conversation. They just know they're unhappy. There's your fork in the road, right there. Because if you're focused on the data, you're focused on the barbecue restaurant, then you keep hammering away at that point, prosecuting your case, talking about how it's your turn to pick, and this is where you want to pick, and they should just go there because it's your turn to pick. Fine, but what your partner may be hearing, again, not necessarily consciously, maybe subconsciously, is this person is choosing this restaurant when I've told them it makes me uncomfortable to eat there. And so I feel uncared for in that moment. I feel unsafe. I feel disrespected. Again, we're talking about subconscious process here. How do we untangle all of this? Because it becomes this great big rubber band ball very quickly. Because one person thinks they're talking about data. Another person is uncomfortable, not because of data. It's always about the feeling. It's always about the need underneath that feeling. So how do we get there? How do we keep that conversation from going sideways? Well, I think we think back to that Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson conversation. What am I listening to? What am I hearing? Why am I listening? If you're listening to respond, if you're listening to make your argument, to prove your point, you're probably just headed down that same old road again. Maybe even not even understanding why. Because to you, you just think it's your turn to pick dinner and your partner doesn't want to respect that. And that goes both ways, doesn't it? Because for you, maybe it is about respect. However, when we can change the trajectory of the conversation, here's how I think we often do that. I think we begin by asking more questions. We listen to ask instead of listen to tell. We listen to understand instead of listen to figure out what we're going to do to convince our partner of our point. And when we begin doing that, things can change. Because now all of a sudden, we are demonstrating to our partner, hey, I want to know about you. I sense that you're getting upset. Can you talk to me about what's going on here? And maybe they're clumsy. Maybe they don't realize until they fumble through it for a little bit. And then you go, oh yeah, that's that restaurant that made you sick last time, isn't it? Yes, it is. And so you probably feel like I don't even remember that. Yes, I do. Okay, well, I am sorry. I forgot about that. Let's go somewhere else. And so all of a sudden we have an opportunity to chart a new course in our relationship because that little thing that was creating this blow up all of a sudden becomes a moment of personal insight for both of us. We only get there when we start asking questions. If we are just trying to hammer our point home, you're probably just going to go where you've always gone. Hey friends, if this is resonating for you at all, I want to point you to something. You can find it down in the comments. I'll just be real quick here. I've got a 5-day email program. It's called the Relationship Ceasefire Program. And it just walks you through some of these basic concepts in kind of a 5-day email sequence. So if you're curious about that and want to see it, just check that link below and you can get it for free. Thanks. So it's pretty common for couples to present for couples therapy, immediately talking about how they have communication troubles. What I would advise someone who's confused about communication is to just remember that communication is not necessarily about proving your point more effectively. It's not about finding a new way to state your perspective that your partner goes, oh, okay, now I agree. How often does that really happen, especially in couples? Sometimes the most effective thing we can do to improve communication in our relationship is to shut up, is to listen, to ask some questions. The more we talk, the deeper we dig that hole. If you don't like being in a hole, the best thing you can do is put down that shovel. And sometimes the way we put down that shovel is we just start listening and we start asking questions. If you don't know what to ask, I think it's okay to say, I don't know what to ask, but I think I probably need to ask something. A great question is, what do I need to be asking you? What am I forgetting to consider here? It's always a great place to go, right? Because it gives your partner this sense that maybe I don't know the answer, but I'd like to learn. And when we can do that, walls start to come down. That defensiveness, that need to fire back, to reclaim territory in the room, a lot of that starts to melt away when we can just say something like, what do I need to know about you right now? What am I missing? And when we can do that, I'm not saying it's going to solve all our problems, but it can often change the trajectory of these difficult relationships. So this is where I think empathy and validation are connected. If empathy is, what's it like to be you right now? Validation is just simply saying, hey, whether I agree with you on the data or not, I'm going to have some respect for the fact that your experience is different than mine. That's it. People get all up in a twist about validation, like somehow if I validate my partner's feelings, then that means that somehow I'm enabling their bad behavior. I don't think anything could be further from the truth. I think validation is simply saying, hey, I want to understand your feelings in this. It's not about data, it's about emotion. And emotion is tied to our fundamental needs in a relationship. So empathy and validation are the secret sauce, in my opinion. They are the raw material of resolution and building connection. Data, that's just the raw material of argument, of confrontation, of extending the argument and blowing it up. So empathy and validation. Empathy, again, What's it like to be you? What do I need to know about you? What is it about your experience that maybe I can't understand, but I'm sure going to try? And validation. Hey, even if I don't get it, I understand that you're a completely different person than me. You have agency. You have a right to feel however you feel. Doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you about the data. It just means that I'm going to hold space for the fact that maybe you're having a different experience with this conversation, with this relationship than I'm having. And when we can begin to lean into that, and this is hard for some people because we spend our whole lives learning how to argue our point. Maybe we grew up in families where that's the only way you can get traction in the family is to argue your point loud enough. It's okay, right? I don't think we are ever at a point in our lives when we can't learn new ways. Empathy and validation are not giving up. They're not conceding the point. Empathy and validation are simply respecting that your partner has a different experience than you and trying to learn about that. And when we do that, friends, I really believe things can change. Okay, thanks for being here today. I really hope you found this helpful. Do me a favor, please do leave a comment and share this with someone who you think may need to hear it. This really helps my channel reach more people. Okay, thanks friends. Till next time, be well.